All right, welcome back in. It is a Gold Jacket Thursday, and just love talking about this guy and his family. He was the 9th overall pick in that 1983 draft by Houston. Went on to play 19 seasons for the Oilers and Tennessee Titans, 14 straight Pro Bowls. When he retired following the 01 season, there was no full-time positional player in NFL history that had played in more games. In fact, he played so long that his former USC teammate Jeff Fisher actually became his NFL coach. 3-time Offensive Lineman of the Year, class of '07 into Canton from the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Mr. Dependable, Bruce Matthews. Bruce, thank you for the time. How you been?
My pleasure. Doing great.
When we talk, you're supposed to provide me with an updated family tree.
Yeah, we only have one Matthews still in the league, and that's my son Jake. He's entering his 12th season as the starting left tackle of the Falcons. So I am now a Falcons aficionado and enjoyed my nephew Clay's appearance at the draft last week. But other than that, they've moved on to other things.
Boy, I'll tell you, it is tremendous, though, and congrats on everything. 19 years in the trenches. How in the world did you do that for that long?
The good Lord blessed myself and my brother and Jake and all the Matthews with bodies that could take the pounding. That's all I can say.
Bruce, well, we're coming off the NFL draft, and I'm so curious, when you go through that experience and turn out to be a Hall of Famer, that journey that you go on. Let's go back to that moment where you get the call, you get the news that you're going to be a Houston Oiler, going from USC to the Houston Oilers. Just talk about that moment, what you remember about being drafted.
Scared to death. I thought for sure they were going to find out I was a fraud and that, they were going to kick me to the curb, which is basically how I felt my entire career. I was so my dad played, right, back in the 50s with the 49ers. And then my older brother Clay played with the Browns and the Falcons. But it was like I was a huge fan of the NFL long before I ever had any dreams or aspirations of playing in the league. So it was literally a dream come true for me. And, I was going to go down there and do what I had always done. And that's what our dad had taught us. You go out there, you go full speed, you do whatever they ask of you and get it done. And like I said, the good Lord blessed us and blessed me that I stuck around long enough that people took notice.
Listen, that's an incredible, humble way to look at it, and I admire you for it because fear is a great motivator, and it can be for a lot of people, correct?
Yeah. There was my 19th year, I was 40 years old, and a young player came up to me and asked me, he goes, man, what is it like to know that you're not going to get cut or that you know where you're going to be this year? And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm scared to death. I believe, honestly, they're going to find out I'm a fraud, and he couldn't believe it. But I think so many guys in the league are motivated through that fear element. And, the good stuff is good. I love winning. I love making the Pro Bowl and the Hall of Fame and all that type of stuff. But it was the fear of getting beat and found out that motivated me most.
Let me take you back in time as we talk with Hall of Fame lineman Bruce Matthews here on Rothman and Ice. What was your impact? I think you were probably just a freshman for that 80 Rose Bowl against Ohio State. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So give me your take on you're late in the game. You're down. I think you're starting inside your own 20, and you've got to go all the way down there against Ohio State. I think Charles White was having an incredible game anyway, but did John Robinson say anything at that point, like anything that you recall that story and what your view and role was at that point when you came back against Ohio State and won that game?
Yeah. First, I got to give you a little background information. This is really inside circle type stuff. I took one of the prized possessions of my life prior to that game. I had a picture on the Rose Bowl insignia, the big rose in the middle of the field, of me and OJ. And it was the biggest thrill of my life up to that point. But anyway, back to the game. It's funny because that team, that USC team, was so good. And, you don't realize what you have until you get some years in the rearview mirror to kind of appreciate it. We had 6 future first-round picks on the offensive line alone, okay? And it was crazy. But anyway, back to the game, it was like, hey, this is who we are. We're going to go down there, we're going to run the ball, and we're going to score, and we're going to give it to Charles White, and we're going to win. And it's funny, I've especially gained an appreciation for that game after having Eddie George as my teammate on the Titans and how much it meant to him and stuff. And so I really, I have a bigger appreciation of the whole Big Ten now, especially with SC being in the conference.
Yeah, no doubt. The Tennessee Titans right now are hoping that Cam Ward could be their next Warren Moon. You were around Warren and his greatness and him turning into a Hall of Fame player. Talk about Warren, what made him a special quarterback in your opinion.
Well, I agree. I've heard a lot of great things about Cam Ward, aside from the type football player he is. I hear he's a class dude, high character. He's actually grew up in West Columbia, Texas, south of Texas here. But, Warren, it wasn't like he had to reinvent himself by any means. He came in and took charge right away after he'd come from Canada. But the big thing with Warren was he wasn't a big speech guy. He was, I'm going to do it this way, and you guys, if you want to win, you hop on board. And, I've never seen a quarterback work as hard in the weight room, be as accomplished on game plan and stuff like that. And I know that Cam Ward had a conversation with Warren, and if I spoke with Cam Ward, that would be my advice to him is speak to Warren Moon, do what he did.
Bruce, I covered Eddie here, during his Heisman year, and obviously you had time with him. Is it true that when you were a vet and he was a young guy, that you told him to clean up his locker?
I probably did. As a vet, you earned, I guess, certain responsibilities. He probably, it was probably a pigsty.
He said he was too much fan mail. There was too much fan mail.
Well, that I believe, yeah. But he is definitely top 5 teammates that I played with. I love the attitude that he brought to the game, the toughness. I hated Ohio State, but I liked Eddie.
I get it. How long did Super Bowl 34 occupy your thoughts? In such a dramatic, tough way, but you've had such a great career. Did it stay with you for a while, just being a yard short, that kind of thing?
I will say that, come the holidays every year, they start playing in anticipation of the Super Bowl and the playoffs coming up. They will play like the comeback against Buffalo and then the 1 yard short against the Rams. And I am convinced that while I'm watching them, we're going to win those games. So,
you know what? Keep that thought.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe not. I definitely think I'm over it.
Well, let me tell you, We could talk to you for an hour. I know you've got things to do up there in Canton. I want to drive people to meet and greet with you. Certainly Friday, you'll be the Hall of Famer at the Hall in the afternoon in the Bust Gallery. Saturday, you can't miss him. Normally, you can't miss him, but he'll also be wearing a gold jacket, so that's for sure. You won't miss him. 9:15, Hall of Famer at the Hall in the lobby. 10:30, presentation to museum guests. You're going to be hanging out.
Even the Buckeyes fans, come on up. I'll chat with you.
Listen, most Buckeye fans are Browns fans too. So, and I know that big fans of Clay. And let me tell you, he needs to be joining you in Canton.
No question. The reputation of the Hall is sullied somewhat by the fact that he isn't in the Hall of Fame, and I know that will be a great celebration when he does make it.
Bruce, congratulations on everything. Soak it in. You deserve to be back there in football heaven, and I wish you a great weekend, and hopefully we'll get to chat again soon. Thanks for this visit.